Welcome back to Financial Fridays. Today we are going to go over expenses. So, this is a really hard part for a lot of people because they get all judgy on themselves, and this isn't the part to do judginess, okay? That's going to come later. So, just write down your expenses. The major ones are the most important, okay? So, we just came after the care square, so we're going to go to the next page in your journal and write down your expenses. Now, a lot of people do this from their actual take-home amount. I like to do it from gross. So, let's say you make $75,000 a year. If you are paid hourly, you want to figure out how much you get paid per year. Then take a look at your actual W-2 or your actual pay stub and see how much you're going to pay in taxes, because that is going to be a large expense. So let's say you are going to pay $10,000 in taxes this coming year. It's a made-up number. I just completely made it up off the top of my head. Look up how much taxes you're actually paying and put it in there. Then healthcare also has to be in here. And I am going to make that $6,000, which is $500 per month. For some of you, it's going to be more expensive. For some of you, it's going to be less expensive. Then I'm going to have a retirement in here as well. And just to make my life easy, I'm going to put $4,000 in here. Also a made-up number. Look how much you're actually putting into retirement. So from here, you're going to subtract all of these. So this is normally what is taken out in your pay stub, and what you have afterwards is going to be your net amount, which is what you take home. So I'm going to say $55,000. Again, this is a made-up number, so please go through and figure out what it is for you. Next, I am going to do mortgage or rent, and I'm going to say that housing is going to cost $1,000 a month, so $12,000 a year. It's probably more expensive than that, especially in this housing prices and stuff. So but for ease of use, I'm going to do $12,000 a year. And for car and gas and maintenance on said car, I'm going to do $8,000 a year. And insurance. I should put insurance up here as well. I'm going to do $8,000 a year. So those two are two large ones. Again, we're down to $35,000 every single year, which looks pretty great. But then you have food. A lot of people misrepresent how much they are actually spending in food. So I like to say $200 per person in your household per week. And 100 of that is going to go towards groceries, and 100 of that is going to go towards eating out. So food, groceries is going to be $400 per month, or $100 per week. So 52 weeks, you are going to have 5,200. And food going out is going to be another 5,200. And that's by yourself. What are you doing, cats? Okay. This is just the basics. So this is extremely low in here. This might be extremely low for you. This is extremely low as well. This is probably low, and this might be low as well. Okay, so 10,400, so it is 24,600 left over. If you have debt already, this is going to be the number one thing after all of these basics. So debt is going to be very important to pay off. I don't know what that debt is, but a lot of people have debt. So that is the next thing to put on this list. I am going to put debt repayment as $600 per year, just to have something on here. So in debt, you should have each line in here. So if you have credit card debt with, let's say, Discover, that would be one line. And then credit card debt with Capital One, that would be another line. Okay? Then after that, we have $24,000 left. What other expenses? This is where you go to your credit cards and you go to your subscriptions and you go to everything else and you figure out where you are actually spending money and take it out. So subscriptions, streaming, Amazon, anything that you can think of as a subscription, you should put in here. Then you have your credit card of buying clothing, entertainment, like going out and seeing movies, maybe you like to go to museums or such things as that. All of those need to be in this life category. This can get kind of expensive, and you're doing it on a yearly category. So subtract life. From here, I am going to subtract 20 grand. A lot of money goes towards life. So we have 4 grand left over per year. And then from here, we should be socking that away into savings. We need an emergency fund. And we just need normal savings that we can draw on. Now, the thing is that what if all of these things run over what your gross is per year? If you go into the negative on this worksheet, it's understandable. You're just looking at what you spend every single year. And you might run into the negative, as in, like, maybe your debt repayments are high, maybe you're spending too much on food, your housing, taxes, and healthcare are probably much higher than this for this tax income bracket. So, if you go into the negative, you're not going to judge yourself, you're just looking at your expenses. So, you might end up in the negative, like, $5,000. It could happen. We're not judging ourselves here. We're just looking at our yearly expenses and where we're spending our money, where our money is going, so that we know where our money is going. Come back next week and we'll talk about how to put all of this together.